Venezuelan Trump supporters are sounding off that they've been betrayed by Donald Trump because they thought during the campaign that he was talking about deporting other immigrants and not them. But now they're finding out that no, he meant them too. Take a listen to what's happening.
Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
More than betrayed. Beyond betrayed. They used us.
Yeah, they used you. And they were open about it too. It's not as if Donald Trump didn't tell people, I only want you for your vote. But this is just one of countless stories of people who really believed that Donald Trump was just going to go after other people and not them. Somehow his supporters would be immune to the consequences. There was a story out today of a Cuban immigrant who was a staunch Trump supporter who is now in ICE custody, ready to be sent back to Cuba. This is an unfortunate thing that is happening. And while I don't necessarily feel bad for the people that actively supported and campaigned for Trump, there are countless people who are suffering the consequences of their decision.
Trump voters in Mississippi are now saying they've been abandoned by Donald Trump, who has refused to send federal aid to their state despite a tornado hitting Mississippi over 2 months ago. Here is what a Trump voter in Tylertown, Mississippi told PBS when asked about the federal response to the tornadoes. Quote, I know President Trump said America first. We're going to help Americans first, but we haven't seen the federal folks down here. So that is a voter in Mississippi who supported Donald Trump after Donald Trump said he was going to put America first, having the realization that, oh, no, that was just rhetoric Trump was using on the campaign trail to try to trick people into voting for him. And sadly, it worked. And now, with Donald Trump as president, he is not sending any federal workers into Mississippi, at least according to this individual who lives in Mississippi, in a city where the tornado hit. And he's playing golf on the weekends instead. So may this be yet another lesson to the Americans who voted for Donald Trump, that this man does not care about you at all. All he cares about is playing golf and grifting and giving tax cuts to himself and the billionaire donors who supported his campaign.
So y'all voted red and now you're broke, mad, and confused. So let's talk about it. The young people who voted for Trump and the Republican movement, they are already regretting their vote. And I'm not even going to pretend to be surprised because I knew it would happen. And y'all got to understand, it's because this is always the play. See, a lot of young people didn't have the tools to really critically think about the impacts of what Trump's policies would have on their lives. And you know why? Because the American education system was never built for you to think critically. It was built to keep you just smart enough to pass a test, but not smart enough to question power. So when the propaganda machine started pumping, most of y'all didn't even know how to check that stuff to know what was factual and what was a lie. You didn't even know how to look past the shiny slogans, the memes, the TikToks, and actually ask real questions like, how does this policy impact me, my rent, my student loan, my future? And now here you are, under this Trump-led regime, finding out the hard way that Republicans do not have your back. That same party that you thought was about freedom is deciding the books you can read now, what rights you have, and whether you can even afford to survive. And look, I get it. When you're young, it feels like political policies and government and all that stuff, it feels like it's just background noise. You think it's something for old people to just argue about, but you see, it is not just noise. It's your life, boo. And if you don't take this seriously, the folks who do take this seriously, you know that older generation that's been controlling everything forever, they gonna keep stacking the deck against you. So now my question is, now that you are living under the policies that you voted for, are you ready to wake up yet? Are you ready to stop treating government like a joke and start treating it like survival? Because until young people wake up, old people are gonna keep cashing checks on your future.
Happy Tuesday, December 31st, everybody. It's New Year's Eve day. I was thinking about that post that I put up last night where I was just describing the video that Don Lemon, formerly of CNN, posted a couple days ago, just going off and using copious amounts of profanity to describe how effing stupid and gullible Trump supporters are now that Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Donald Trump have turned on them on their signature issue of immigration. And it's an amazing thing knowing that we have an incoming president of the United States who is at a minimum infatuated with and also very mindful of not upsetting Elon Musk, who has never been elected to any office ever, anywhere. And Elon has been obviously getting a lot done over the last 2-3 weeks using his Twitter platform, X. I'm always going to refer to it as Twitter. That's just what it is. And so then I wake up this morning to see that Donald Trump's incoming chief of staff and the woman who co-chaired his most recent presidential campaign, Susie Wiles, sent a message on Sunday to all of Donald Trump's nominees for cabinet positions and deputy positions in cabinets, ordering them to refrain from posting anything on social media as Senate confirmation hearings are scheduled to start next week. Now, so she wrote, while this instruction has been delivered previously, I am reiterating that no member of the incoming administration or transition speaks for the United States or the president-elect himself. Somebody might want to tell Elon that. Because Elon speaks for Elon. And that entire thing is crashing to the ground right now. I mean, Trump used to have Elon Musk speak at his rallies, and the crowd of Trump supporters would go crazy when Elon would get on stage. They had idolized this guy. And now he's telling the base of the Republican Party that they can go F themselves when it comes to the issue of H-1B visas for immigrants. And that before the mass deportations actually start, Elon wants to bring more immigrants into the United States through the H-1B visa program. And so Donald Trump's voters feel betrayed. They feel like they've been lied to. And if there's one thing that Donald Trump understands very clearly, it's that he no longer needs his base. He knows that he can't run for a third term. He has Steve Bannon out there talking about a third term just to rile up the base. He knows that he can't run for a third term. And now that there's no threat of criminal imprisonment hanging over his head, he doesn't need to run for a third term, assuming he's still alive in 4 years. So he looks at his base and he's like, the transaction is complete. I don't need anything from any of you Trump voters ever again. So I don't care what you think. I don't care what you have to say. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's what he's doing. And what he's doing is protecting his own businesses and sucking up to Elon Musk. It was a much more rapid pivot than I had expected. I had expected something like this would maybe happen 5-6 months in to his second term. It happened 3 weeks before his second term, which it's a glorious thing. I'm really enjoying watching it, watching all their heads explode. It's just been a hoot. And I hope all of you have been enjoying it as well. Have a great Tuesday.
Latino voters are feeling utterly betrayed by Donald Trump. Well, we told you so. We're hearing stories like this of a MAGA dad sending a text message to his daughter saying, "Hi, sweetie, keep a pic of your passport in your phone." And this lady goes, "A text I got from my dad today. He's a Latino who voted for Trump. I'm just numb at this point. I really tried to tell him We're hearing stories like this. I'm laughing at my Latino dad who voted for Trump. You guys, LMAO, this feels so good. I told my dad if Trump gets into office, his family is going to be affected by it too. His family is at risk of getting deported. But when I told him that, he said I'm dumb and that he wasn't true at all because his family came in legally. Now, guess what? They are saying that the countries Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Haiti that were allowed in the U.S. through the Biden humanitarian parole program are at risk of being deported too, even though they technically came in legally. It's just that most don't have their resident card yet, which can take years, by the way, and this makes them at risk of being deported or detained. Also, ICE is even trying to detain immigrants